Hey guys, it's Coach Ro from RocioFlores.com, and today's topic is, what is an elimination diet? Before I get started, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to my website. That way you can get my newsletter each month. I just share all the posts that I've done throughout the month, a little bit about what's going on in my life, and then a little bit to help you with your life. So make sure you get on that list. So to begin, I want to point out first and foremost that an elimination diet is not intended to help you lose weight. A lot of the time it's sold that way. So you will get websites or magazines that'll sell you a diet that's very, very close to an elimination diet in effort to help you lose weight. The reason that it works and that people do often lose weight through it, it's because you're cutting out a bunch of things that are bad. So what's an elimination diet? It's a diet where you eliminate foods. The real intent of one of these kinds of diets is usually to find out if you have a food sensitivity, a food intolerance, or an allergy. And so basically you're cutting out all the foods that could or are known to cause food sensitivities or allergies. And so by eliminating them and reintroducing them, you can start to see what foods your body doesn't react very well to. So this is very helpful for people who have allergies or who suffer from chronic disorders or inflammation, and they can't find a real reason for it. A lot of the times there's it's just something that they're eating that's causing these problems, but it's not an allergy in the sense that they're gonna go into an anaphylaxis. So like if you're allergic to peanuts, most of the time people find that out pretty soon and they can't have them. But you can have something like a gluten sensitivity versus a gluten some people have a wheat allergy, some people have a gluten insensitivity, and some people have gluten celiac disorder. So basically they can't have celiac, but it's not the same as an allergy. So that's its own thing. And so I am going to share a Healthline article that explains the details of it in case you are wanting to do it. But usually when it comes to an elimination diet, you do it under the supervision of your doctor, because they're trying to help you figure out, what's causing or what's the root of the issue. You usually don't do this by yourself. It is possible to do it by yourself. The article explains some of the details if you want to, but you want to make sure that you're safe. And so, first of what you want to do when starting is you want to track how you feel. So you want to track your physical symptoms ahead of time before you made any changes. Take about a week or 2 weeks of just tracking that way you can actually know what the difference is when you go into the elimination diet, because if you don't pay attention to it before, you're not really going to know any of the differences after. You might realize that you feel better, but you may not understand exactly what's causing you to feel better. So pay attention to physical symptoms like a headache, digestive issues, body pains, that kind of stuff. Make sure that you pay attention to any emotional mood issues. So like if you notice yourself if your mood changes a lot, or you're feeling depressed, or you're feeling overly energetic or not energetic enough, pay attention to mental issues, sort of like if you're feeling foggy, or if you're having a difficult time with thinking, or your energy, those kind of things. So some of the things to look out for are rashes or skin changes, any joint pain, headaches or migraines, fatigue, difficulty sleeping, changes in your breathing, bloating, stomach pains, cramps, or any other digestive bowel issues. So make sure that you're tracking this before, and then you want to make sure that you slowly start to get rid of the food and slowly cut them out of your diet. Now, as you cut food out of your diet, you want to make sure that you're still getting the right nutrients. So let's say you cut out eggs, which are a really good source of protein and fat, but you are replacing it with a piece of toast. Well, the problem with that is the piece of toast isn't going to have enough protein and it usually doesn't have enough fat either. So you're changing the balance of the amount of macronutrients that are in your day, and whether or not you feel better may actually have to do with the fact that you changed up your diet and not so much the foods themselves. So make sure that if you're replacing a protein, you're taking in another protein that's pretty equal to it. Same goes with if your calcium comes from dairy sources, you want to make sure that you're still getting the calcium from other foods. Same with all the vitamins and minerals, carbohydrates, fats, all of it. Same with fiber. So make sure that you're not just cutting foods out without thinking about what you're going to eat, because you're going to get a lot of symptoms, and you may notice that the process of getting off of those foods you may not feel so great, but it's sort of like your body's going through withdrawal, kind of like when it goes through a withdrawal from a drug, and you might get night sweats, you might get headaches, you might feel nauseous, you might just feel dizzy, tired. Especially if you're cutting out stuff like caffeine and you're really used to having a lot of caffeine. A lot of it is sugar. So if you notice that you're cutting out certain products that have a high amount of salt and sugar and fat, you might even see some weight loss. Now, again, it has nothing to do with the fact that this type of diet helps you lose weight, but because we're eating most of your calories from those foods. So if it causes you to lose weight, it might be just because you're eating a smaller amount of calories or cutting out bad stuff. So usually the kind of foods that get taken out are going to be things that we know cause just sensitivities in general, and that's usually things like, so you got certain types of nuts, corn, soy, dairy, citrus fruits, nightshade vegetables, wheat, things that contain gluten, pork, eggs, red meats, certain seafoods. So if you're doing a real elimination diet, like let's say you really don't have any idea what is causing your issues, you're gonna cut out a ton of stuff and it's gonna suck. I'm sorry. You're not gonna like it, you're not gonna enjoy it, but you do get to reintroduce foods back in, and you actually have to do it really slowly. So you want to introduce one thing at a time for a few days, see how you feel, keep tracking throughout the entire time how you're feeling each day, if you notice any differences in your body, and that way when you're slowly bringing things back in, you can notice when something makes a difference. So if you, let's say you bring back in something like a bread, but you don't notice any issues. Now you bring that back in a very specific type of bread or a certain wheat, like that it's wheat or an oat, or maybe you were having gluten-free bread, I don't know, or a gluten bread, I don't know, and one of them causes you an issue, then it may be an isolated sensitivity. So it's not just, pay attention to the ingredients that are in the food. And just make sure that you're keeping a healthy diet, that you're still trying to get in a good amount of vegetables, good amount of water, you're taking care of your sleep patterns, you're taking care of your body as far as, being physical and active. So that way, any issues that you do find, you understand that they're actually from the food and you're not cutting something out that you like for no reason. Make sure that you're tracking it, and I would suggest only doing this if you're really struggling or you're really having some health issues that you can't figure out. Usually the doctor's the one that's going to tell you to do this, and they'll help you with it. So if you're wanting to do this and you're already, only use these tips if you already made the decision that this is something that you're going to do on your own. And hopefully it helps you to understand kind of what it is, and not to use it just for weight loss or just to try to detox or get healthy, because it's made and it's created for a certain reason. So always be wary of anyone that tries to tell you that any type of diet is the best diet and it's going to help you, because it's not the most sustainable diet. It's not something that you want to do. But if you have questions or you want some ideas on meals that you can make while on this type of diet, let me know, and let me know what you've cut out, and I can look stuff up for you. But I hope that you like this video. If you like it, please share it, comment, tag, react to it, send it to people. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.